Welcome to the Gamer's Closet, Episode 2. This episode, Star Trek, A Klingon Challenge, the VCR board game. Star Trek, A Klingon Challenge is a video-based board game created by Decipher Incorporated in 1993. The game is set in the Star Trek universe, specifically on the USS Enterprise D. The game was originally released in a limited edition white box package, but later releases had general edition black box packaging as well through Milton Bradley, with updated graphics and flavor text. This game utilizes a videotape that runs consistently while users play the board game portion. Events on the videotape itself, combined with board gameplay, determine whether users can win or lose this game. Setting up this game. Start by shuffling the 12 holodeck cards, the 4 bridge tokens, the 12 Klingon Bij cards, and the 56 computer access cards and put them in their exact piles. Each player then draws a Federation rank token. The rank tokens are important as the highest ranking member of the party is the first person to go, and then it goes clockwise from there. Each player then puts their player token on any random computer access token on the board and draws 1 computer access card at the beginning of their turn. The game does request that you play with the Starfleet Com Badge stickers, but since the game is 20 years old, I would recommend changing that to a house rule, as stickers do dry out after about 2 decades of sitting in a box. How to play this game. When you are ready to begin, start the videotape. Sit back, relax, and watch the introduction of about 6 minutes. In this section, you will see Kavik hijack the USS Enterprise and pose the challenge of the game. Be prepared to begin the board game immediately when the countdown clock appears. Whenever Kavik appears on screen, everyone must immediately stop, watch Kavik, and respond as ordered. Resume playing the board game when he leaves the view screen.
What is your name? That is a child's name. From now on, I will call you Gah, my favorite food, because you look slimy like a Terran worm. Besides, Gah is always best when eaten alive.
When Kavik speaks to you, answer yes, Captain Kavik. If you do not respond correctly when Kavik speaks, you are risking his wrath and endangering the mission for everyone. If you fail to respond, the first player to notice can act for you for the good of the group and immediately take a playing card of their choice from you. When Kavik speaks Klingon instead of English, the universal translator aboard the starship will usually convert these phrases into subtitles. Since you can't always rely on a malfunctioning computer, here are some words that you should know. Kronos, which means the Klingon homeworld, Mev, which means stop, and Bij, which means punishment. On occasion, Kavik may use Klingon curse words, but unfortunately these translations for these terms are not programmed into the universal translator. Also, if Kavik gives you a new name, you must answer by that name for the rest of the game. Whenever Kavik orders you to experience Bij, draw a Bij card and do what is written on the top of the card. However, if a low-level malfunction flashes on screen, do what is written on the bottom half of the card. You do not have to read the card aloud. Return the card to the bottom of the deck after you've finished. The track on the game board represents corridors and rooms throughout the Starship Enterprise. When the board game begins, move as quickly as you can. On your turn, roll the die and move your playing piece forward that number of spaces. Movement always occurs in a clockwise direction. Room spaces are counted like other spaces on the corridor. You can enter a room if you roll the exact number needed, but you are not required to do so. You may choose to continue to move around the corridors. More than one player may occupy a space or room at the same time as another player.
The computer has reactivated the turbo lifts, but that is of little consequence. You! The crew member who is moving now. I place you in a stasis field.
If you land on a blank quarter space, this ends your turn. If you land on a computer access space, you get to draw a computer access card. You don't have to read the card aloud, but you do have to place it face up in front of you. There are two types of computer access cards. They give you computer room access, which give you security clearance to enter rooms and gain Isolinear chips, or when you get to a room listed on the card, you can trade the access card for your next level of Isolinear chip. Also, there are computer access time cards. Each card contains 2 time references. To use clock cards, you will need to closely watch the countdown clock on the screen. At one of the exact times indicated on the card, make an announcement to the group and do quickly what is written on the card. Note, it does not always have to be on your turn to use a clock card. After using it, return it to the bottom of the deck. If you're late, even by a few seconds, the card cannot be used until the next time indicated. If both times indicated on the card have expired, the card is pretty much useless. The move again and miss a turn spots on the board are pretty straightforward. However, if you do land on the sickbay spot, you will have to immediately go to sickbay, and you do miss your next turn while you recuperate. If you land on the bridge space, you are being detained and can't move for 1 minute, so you will have to pay attention to the time counter. And if you land on the security space, that's where phasers are stored, but the door is locked. To gain access, you must have the level 3 Isolinear chip to enter and get a phaser. However, there are low-level malfunctions and some playing cards that may make it possible for you to enter without this chip. Turbo lifts allow you to move quickly throughout the ship. However, if you do not have a level 2 Isolinear chip, you can't use the turbo lift. When you land on this space, you can immediately move to any other turbo lift location. But please note that you must roll an exact number to land on a turbolift space. Moving past the turbolift doesn't count. Holodeck spaces allow you to consult with a 3-dimensional image of an experienced Enterprise crew member who can provide advice to help you accomplish your mission. If you do not have a level 1 Isolinear chip, you can't use the holodeck. If you do draw one of these cards, you do not have to read it aloud. If the card is not used immediately, you must keep it face up in front of you for all other players to see. After using this card, immediately return to the bottom of the deck. Jeffrey's tubes are located on both sides of the saucer section. They are utility access corridors that lead to the bridge. Jeffrey's tubes may only be used if you have all the necessary Isolinear chips, a phaser, and are prepared to secure the bridge. For any reason, if you lose any one of these items, you must back out of the tube and regain these elements to continue. Bridge access panels are at the end of the Jeffrey's tubes. When you land on this space, immediately pick up the top bridge token. This is how you win the game. But please note, you do not need an exact roll to reach this space. If you land on a power panel space, you divert power and immediately release all stasis fields on the board. Stasis fields are energy fields that hold you in place. If you are placed in a stasis field, take a clear plastic cylinder and place it over your playing piece. You cannot move and will lose turn or turns until you are released. Please note you may be released by Kavak, playing cards, the actions of another player, or your level 4 Isolinear chip. Since the computer is not functioning properly, only 2 stasis fields can be active at any one time. If a third player is placed in a stasis field, he or she determines which of the other players is released.
Miv! You! The one who is moving now. Answer!
Isolinear chips give you computer codes that provide access to different systems of the starship. As you collect Isolinear chips, slide them into your tricorder. Keep the tricorder in front of you for everyone else to see. Please note, according to Ferengi law, it states that if you lose Isolinear chips, it's always the highest level chip you own. Collect Isolinear chips in numerical order from 1 to 5, bottom of the tricorder to the top, and each chip is labeled by its function. Level 1 gives you access to the holodeck, Level 2 turbolifts, Level 3 opens the security doors for the phaser room, Level 4 allows you to release stasis fields, and Level 5 automatically opens the bridge access panel at the end of the Jeffrey's tubes. The game ends in one of 2 ways. Option A, before the clock reaches 0, and with you landing on a bridge access panel, you can immediately try to enter the bridge by turning over the top bridge token. If the token reads computer malfunction, bridge access denied, set the token aside and try to enter again on your next turn. If the token reads you stun Kavak, you gain control of the Enterprise. Immediately press stop on the VCR and keep the starship from continuing on its perilous journey. Or option B, the timer runs out, thereby losing the game, and you do get a small video of what Kavak does once he reaches Kronos. If you've never played this game, I do strongly recommend it. It's great for party games. The replay value of this game is very high as video interaction changes per each time you play it. The game runs anywhere from 2 to 6 players. It is very easy to play again, very family oriented. All you do need is a TV and something that will play video. Some people find the videotape being cumbersome as they may not have a VCR, but you can view the video off of YouTube, or you can purchase it off of eBay or other places online. The game itself is out of print, but you can find it at such fine retailers as Amazon and eBay. It ranges anywhere from about $10 to $50 depending on who you buy it from. But it is very accessible on online stores. Well, that's it for us here at the Gamer's Closet. We'd like to thank you for watching episode 2 of our gaming series. If there's a game you would like us to review in the future, please put it in the comments below, and please click subscribe up on the top right. We will be releasing a new episode each Monday, so please keep an eye out for our new content and material. And as always, please have a great gaming day.
Nev, who is moving now? Don't answer. Seeing you is enough. Experience Bish.